Welcome, Chapter 8. I continued to shop songs from my album in Philadelphia, which in turn made me catch the eye of another entertainment company. Now, we all know my boyfriend was my producer, and we both considered ourselves an independent entertainment unit, but something happened when our local major broadcasting station came out to our home to make me my music video. I signed a contract with them. There was to be an interview to introduce me and my video. They were making this for me for the song that was featured on the cable show off my album. During this video, which was my first recorded interview with professionals ever, I will admit, I did not give him the credit he thought he deserved. He felt being as though he had given me an outlet to share my talent. I should have mentioned his name. When it was time to record, I was given a schedule by the station and their entertainment producer. Now, my boyfriend wanted me to reschedule until he could get off from work. I know he wanted to be there, but I was afraid to reschedule. I did not want to toggle with this major television's time. It was a major television station. Are you serious? I felt they would think I wasn't serious. I panicked. I was terribly afraid to lose my spot, and I was not going to let anyone jeopardize my shot. I mean, it's not every day. People with dreams of being a star even get the opportunity to even try to be a star. So I was torn. I didn't mean to leave him out of the interview. I simply stated my mom had forced me to play the piano and it grew on me. Played for the church. I realized I had an ear for music. I mean, he had helped me. He did help me. He got me on the right track after my life had took the worst turns ever, but I didn't even want to even attempt to mention that. I was self-medicating myself, steady drinking. I was hiding all of these ugly truths and all of these lies that I made to hide these ugly truths over things and my life. And, well, listen, I had a mess. He knew nothing of anything that happened to me, only the abuse. I was living a whole lie. I never planned a day to unlive this lie. I mean, it literally became part of me. I protected those people who knew and even continued to have a bond with the people that hurt me the most. I made it okay for the most part. But then there were moments where everything just hurt. Most time nobody would be with me or they wouldn't know what was going on and it just would look and I just would look away. I would go into depressions, I guess you would call it that. I didn't know what was going on with me. Rage and contempt against people who had no clue what was going on with me. I learned to isolate and just make my music. I told the keyboard. I told my words. I told my lyrics. I told my songs. That lie had consumed me. Acting like I was okay when I wasn't had consumed me. It was unspoken and hidden, but very much there and very much me. My dreams, the assaults that I endured. losing my children, the scars in my womb from being kicked when I was younger had assisted in a lot of miscarriages in my early 20s. I did tell my boyfriend if we did not want to get married, I would understand. I could not have children and I didn't want any. I wanted to sing away that hidden hurt and resentment and just be okay. The discord from two mothers, just, I couldn't find balance. I wanted to trust, I really did, but I never felt comfortable with who I could trust. So I trusted no one, not even myself. One day out of the blue, since I was not talking to my legal mother, I decided to search for my birth family. Now, don't forget, this was a time before mainstream social media. We had phone books. Being funny one day, I looked in a Philadelphia phone book as I was traveling back and forth between work and looked up my grandmother's name and I found it. It took me forever to dial that number and not hang up. I had no idea why, but I was scared. I had no idea what she would say, and I was not sure I could take any form of rejection from these people. My boyfriend encouraged me to speak with her, and I eventually did. Her voice was beautiful. Immediately, I knew where I got my sultry, deep voice from. She had 7 children, and 2 of my uncles and her had a group, and they did not shy away from instruments or singing. Anytime we talked for hours. I was scheduled for a show the next weekend in Center City, Philadelphia. I asked her, like, could we meet? And she immediately agreed. Planned a big dinner to introduce me to everyone. Chapter 9. That week was the longest week of my life, waiting to meet my family, my birth family. That drive was the longest drive of my life, driving from North Carolina to Pennsylvania to meet my birth family for the first time. My boyfriend brought his best friend, and I brought mine. I needed my hair done and my makeup done, so I had to have my best friend with me. She was my heart. The show was run by a guy that searched for raw talent that we met at another show I had done previously in Philly. I had won an open mic, and in turn, he gave me a spot in his next showcase. Now, this was a bigger showcase, so it was a big deal for me. I had a song picked out, written, produced, all vocals executed by me personally. But at the last minute, wow, looking at the crowd, I did not hear that song. It's something about a gift. I don't know how or why, but it's a gift you can't see, you can't touch. And it's oftentimes hard to just get out. But it's music. I can hear music. I hear tunes, I hear melodies, I hear beats randomly. Sometimes it seems as if they go with moods. I've done this and I still do this now. My first choice of song had been a upbeat song that I had written. But when I looked in the crowd, I saw pain. No one was hurting, nothing was happening. But in that moment, I wasn't feeling the song I had chose. Everyone was uneasy about me changing last minute. Like it was literally almost time for me to go on. I was being introduced. Even though my album was completely indulged in trauma and I was expressing myself, and most of the themes of every song and every note played was about trauma, I wanted to change it. I didn't care. I wanted to change that song. I won first place. My team could not believe I pulled it off. One song, just a piano and a drum. I saw that crowd and I just knew how to make them react. I was so happy. I had won an audition at a well-known theater in New York City and a spot to perform on a boat in Jamaica. I cannot swim, and I was happy about the audition in New York. I was not so happy about the boat. I cannot swim, and I could not get on that boat. I told them to give it to the second place winner. They thought I was crazy, and they definitely were upset about me passing up this opportunity. But I was dead serious. I did not go. I knew I was missing out, but I was not getting on that boat. Now, after the show, we all went to Grandma's. She had cooked and invited all the people that looked just like me to her home. I had lost my brother in '97 to gun violence and learned that day that he had a baby daughter. I cried so hard. It was so overwhelming to meet all these people at once. They were so nice. I just couldn't understand why they left me. But I knew not to ask. There was a lot going on in my head, and my birth mom had not even arrived yet. My boyfriend and his best friend went to pick her up. When they came back, I saw a woman standing there looking at me, looking just like me. I never went through that before. I was always asked, where did I come from in my adopted family? I did not look like them. I did not act like them. I stuck out like a sore thumb, and no one ever let me live that down. We hugged, and she told me how beautiful I was, and she was so funny. We laughed just alike. No one knew what was boiling inside of me, though. Shit, I didn't either. The night was coming fast. We all ate and all got acquainted, and my mom asked if I would leave them and stay with her for the night. We all had a hotel room. I turned into a child. I looked at my friends and told them, y'all have to come too. Now, how I expected them to walk my walk with me with my birth mom, I'm sure they had never experienced anything like this before. And they probably didn't know that I really needed the support. But I was serious. I wanted them to go, and they still declined. I snapped. I told her I was afraid, and no. I was 21 years old and just meeting my birth mom, and I could not tell her I wanted to spend a night with her because I was mad at her, and that made me not want to stay, and it just was too much, and I couldn't tell her all of this, and I couldn't even understand why I couldn't tell her. I barely understood what I was feeling. We all left. I turned on everyone in that car. Thinking back, I think I was really mad at myself for letting fear control me. That is a very bad habit. It really can hurt you. I cursed them out, unlocked the door, and jumped out the car. My boyfriend was still driving when they realized I had jumped out the moving vehicle. I had no clue where I was in Philadelphia, but I just ran. I ran as hard and as fast as I could run. I didn't even stop to see was my bleeding or anything. when I hit that street. I just ran.